welcome to the University of the Western Cape's Homecoming Alumni Reunion. My name is Chad Simon, and I will be your program director for this weekend. Now, allow me to introduce myself properly. First and foremost, I am part of the class of 2005, and when I was thinking about having this opportunity, I look back at it feels like it was yesterday that I was hanging around outside the cafeteria, not inside, outside with my guitar in my breaks, with my dreadlocks, writing songs while simultaneously deciphering the works of Shakespeare, Keats, and Hemingway, whilst trying to figure out my next move, and having the opportunity to have grown and explored and soared from such an incredible institution is something that I'll never take for granted. I do remember a conversation with my dad saying, I want to do music. And I was quite sure that I wanted to do music. And he said, well, that's fine. Your education first. The advice that he's ever given me. And I at that point was part of a handful of members who carried our surname, who had qualifications within the tertiary sphere. So I understand what it meant, not only for our family, but just for me as well. I obtained my BA degree, English Literature and Language and Communication, and just being able to have that setting for the rest of my life is something that as mentioned, I do not take lightly. As I carry the torch of UWC with me now, as a professional singer, songwriter, radio presenter, and entertainment personality, and born and bred Cape Townian. I've traveled the world. I've had a few number ones. I've played shows in many, many cities around the globe, but I wouldn't be who I am without my education. Well, and that's enough about me. So the reason that we have come together today is to celebrate the 60th anniversary of our beloved university. 60 years old and still looking as beautiful as ever. An institution that, as I engaged this opportunity, I got to learn so much more about. An institution that birthed the success of many, many individuals, often facing obstacles and adversity. A place that was initially created for us to go and be secluded in our education became a place that rose above the thorns of prejudice, oppression, and underestimation. And now let's reel it back in. And based on a great response to a feasibility study that was done in 2019, which was last year, which I know feels like many, many years ago, based on the 2020 we've experienced thus far, I can tell you that this would have been an incredible live event. Firstly, we would be able to see the bottom half of our outfits that we're wearing today, and I'm sure everyone has delivered on that front. But if you had told me a year ago that I would be the program director for such an auspicious occasion from the comfort of my own home, I would say, I don't believe you. First and foremost, why would I need to do it from home? Yet here we are. The COVID-19 pandemic has led us to this platform, and more importantly, led us to this moment. And as they say in my world, the show must go on. You may be dialed in from anywhere in the world, and I can attest to the fact that there are UWC alumni in many, many corners of the world doing incredible things. And to take you into what lies ahead, the next 3 days will be filled with conversations of hope, courage, transformation, truth, nostalgia, and more importantly, the future. We pay homage to all those that have come before us, but we also focus on those who are yet to come and create more change. I always say the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence, as we look forward to grow our institution into more and more heights that we haven't seen. Let me get back to exactly why I'm here right now. I'd like to take this moment to introduce the Rector and Vice Chancellor to deliver the University of the Western Cape's 60th anniversary address. It is okay to clap hands at home or wherever you are. I see some of you are out and about. I see some of you may be in your garden. maybe at a hotel, maybe in the comfort of your own home. But it is okay to clap hands. I know you might look like the strange person just clapping to the screen, but I want you to put your hands together with mine for Professor Pretorius.
All attendees, alumni, staff, students, the homecoming organizing team, a very warm welcome to the first ever Global UWC Homecoming Alumni Reunion. This is an extraordinary event in extraordinary times. Wherever you are right now, you will have had your share of hardships and endure the restrictions of narrowed lives that have come with the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of you might even have to deal with new restrictions as some countries grapple with a second wave of infections. But the capacity to endure and adapt is an astonishing and remarkable feature of humanity. In times like these, our most humane abilities are called upon as we see the hardship that others are enduring, like losing loved ones, the increasing unemployment, poverty, and suffering. And the devastating effects of the pandemic is not over yet. When we had our homecoming reunion on campus last year, we could not have foreseen these circumstances. Then it was about being together, hugging and shaking hands, and talking about the old days. I am glad, however, that today we are connected to each other, even though virtually. And what makes this event more extraordinary is the fact that we are able to connect with alumni across the globe, as opposed to only those who would have been able to travel to South Africa. As you all know, UWC is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. And there were many special events planned to mark this wonderful occasion. Unfortunately, the pandemic laid waste to those plans. It doesn't mean, though, that we cannot celebrate and reflect on the evolution of this very special institution. I've witnessed its growth over a few decades myself, from student to lecturer to dean to deputy vice-chancellor, and then finally as vice-chancellor. And if there is one thing that stands out for me, it is the fact that we are a community of pioneers and people who never give up. We have had many challenges come our way, but we have somehow managed to come together to overcome hurdles and hardship. If there's one characteristic that we share as a university community, it is resilience. This reunion offers us a time for reflecting about who we are and where we have come from. Over the next few days, you will be invited to participate in events that speaks to both our history and our future. Prof. Levak, our Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic, will share the findings from her series of courageous conversations that she held with alumni around the country to delve into UWC's history. Then there's the session on UWC and sport and how it helped shape who we are today. Having played soccer myself and having been involved in the administration of sport, I know what an important role it played in my own life and that of many other alumni. I will be speaking to you again throughout the next few days, and I hope to share with you some of the many achievements and gains that we made at UWC over the past 60 years. So please enjoy the reunion and warm welcome back to UWC, even if it's only virtually.
A big thank you to Professor Pretorius. Thank you for the address. Thank you for the welcome. And I must just say, you know, I myself am an avid footballer. I still try and play the game. We got to play out, on the grass patch for many years. And I had the conversation with Niven Marie. We mentioned that where football is right now for the university is at such a beautiful and escalated standpoint, and I just wish I'm a little envious that we didn't have the exact type of league and setup back then. Professor Pretorius, you look like I'm leaning towards a defender. I'm leaning towards a man that can just clean up at the back, lay off the ball, and just do the hard work, as you are also a custodian of the University of the Western Cape. So it is time for us to head into the national anthem. Right, Professor Pretorius?
I think you have it wrong.
Okay.
Football, normally you start at the front as a striker, and as you get older, you move to the midfield, and eventually you end up at the back. And when you're much older, everyone wants you to play goalkeeper.
No, totally understood. That was my exact journey. I'm still in the midfield at the moment, not giving away too much of my age, but I am in the midfield. So what an amazing opportunity to be able to engage with the Professor Pretorius, as mentioned, a custodian of the institution. Not many have been through the entire journey of UWC as he has. It is now time for the national anthem that will be done by the UWC Creative Arts Choir.
Greetings to you all. My name is Patricia Lawrence, and I'm the Director for Institutional Advancement. I'd like to echo the Rector's warm welcome to you from the Department of Institutional Advancement, and more specifically, our Alumni Relations Unit, headed by Mr. Niven Marie and his team. They have been instrumental in organizing this UWC 60th anniversary homecoming weekend for our alumni both in South Africa and abroad. Our Alumni Relations Department is responsible for the outreach and engagement of our alumni around the world. And it is our business to keep you connected to UWC and informed about the amazing progress and teaching and learning and research at UWC, and more specifically, the upward trajectory of accomplishments and our academic standing in higher education ranking in the world. Most of you have met with us and the rector, who has led the team, visiting our alumni, both in South Africa and abroad, and it has been a privilege to meet all of you. I'm wearing two hats today. I'm also the chair of the UWC 60th Anniversary Steering Committee. And as the saying goes, the best laid plans often go awry. We, of course, had a number of events planned across the university and certainly throughout the year. Faculties, departments, our departments, all had their plans set out at the end of 2019. Our birthday launch was scheduled for the 25th of March 2020, with some seriously hyped up activities on the sports field. But alas, that was not to be. As COVID-19 became more and more of a reality in South Africa, we moved into national lockdown. And so all our plans had to be reimagined. I'm constantly amazed and encouraged by the way in which UWC staff and students responded to the lockdown. While it was difficult at first, faced with so much confusion and uncertainty by a worldwide pandemic, everyone responded, pulled together, and put the students' well-being first. Everyone at UWC was mobilized into the service of our students who needed devices and data to continue their academic studies. Many of you supported the hashtag No Student Will Be Left Behind campaign, and contributions were made from all over the world. Your contributions were invaluable to the ongoing success of our students. Allow me to take a moment to thank each of you for your support towards the campaign. Your kindness and generosity was a clear indication of your willingness to support UWC and the next generation of leaders in South Africa. Thank you for your generous support to this effort. And as much as we were able to continue the academic year, so too were we able to do our UWC, reimagine our UWC 60th anniversary celebrations. So instead of the big launch on the sports fields, the rector marked the occasion on our national TV stations, on SABC3 Expresso and on ETV Morning Live. A remarkable and memorable video was produced by the Media Marketing and Communications Office. The video features recognizable shots of UWC's nature reserve, main campus, Table Mountain, the waterfront, Jake's Carroll Drive, and not least, the Great Hall, with the UWC choir singing God Bless Africa, conducted by our choir master, Mr. Sibusiso Njeza. This video has been used on various platforms online, on TV, and events throughout the year. And I certainly encourage you to go and listen to this amazing Prayer for Africa sung by our choir at UWC. It is so moving. We were also privileged to rebrand UWC with the 60th anniversary logo, which now features on all our stationery and communication to all of you. Faculties and departments, where possible, continued their planned events online with so much success. I have to note and share with you that UWC was the first of the universities to conduct a virtual graduation, and they continue with the graduations in December next month. It also gives me great pleasure to share with you that the Theology Alumni Reunion also took place virtually, and we were able to lay a plaque to commemorate the theology department. Would you believe we even hosted a virtual golf day to celebrate our 60th anniversary? All of this has led up to this amazing moment where we are today, to celebrate the closing of our 60th anniversary for 2020. But not before we spend the weekend celebrating UWC and the best we have to offer the world, our outstanding alumni. May I take this opportunity to encourage you to attend as many of the sessions as you're able, and as the rector encouraged you. The courageous conversations, as you know, was something that was led by Professor Levak, and she will bring that to a conclusion over the next 2 days. The UWC Theology launch will celebrate the life and home of theology at UWC, not to be missed. Transformation in sport and our role in transformation in sport and in South Africa. I'd like you tomorrow afternoon to take the time out to relax, pour yourself a glass of something, and tune into our musical showcase, where we celebrate music and storytelling, featuring some of the best of South Africa's brightest performing artists, telling the story of UWC over the past 60 years. It is something not to be missed. Closing on Sunday, led by the Archbishop, our esteemed Chancellor, Archbishop Popoba, and our Rector, Professor Pretorius, they will be remembering the struggle that shaped UWC and the future of UWC. Rest per se, prosper se. Looking back, looking forward. And in closing, I'd like to share with you just a little story, which I hope the Rector is going to share with you. There is a story that the Rector loves to tell when we go on our trips around South Africa and abroad, about being able to see UWC from the aeroplane. And one of the key things we wanted to do this year, and I hope we still get to do before the year is out, is to paint the Life Sciences rooftop with the words UWC. We were somehow hamstrung by COVID, but now that the lockdown has been lifted somewhat, we are able to move forward with this. So I'm pleased to say that the work on the rooftop is about to happen, and that would give us so much joy to actually accomplish that, to be able to see UWC from the aeroplane, UWC from the sky. So let me share this with you. From a violent birth, from humble beginnings, from struggling beginnings, from beginnings with struggle, soon we will be able to see UWC as a landmark, standing proud and taking its place as a university of excellence, not only in South Africa, not only in the Western Cape, but in South Africa. Please enjoy the weekend, stay well, and be safe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lawrence. Thank you for that beautiful moment of insight. I'm so glad that I got to learn more about what we are doing as an institution now. I think that there has not been a better year to rebrand a logo or rebrand an energy or just grow any sort of brand in 2020. I think it's been a year that has come with many challenges, but at the same time, I think it's birthed so much new energy, so much new ideas, and just so many more new things to look forward to in the future. So big thank you for filling us in on all the, the little details that I would have not known. So thank you. I will now share it with my peers, and I will let them know that we are heading in only one direction, and it's the direction that we've always been heading in, pioneering upwards and forwards. Thank you once more. So to let you guys know what is coming up throughout the rest of the day, I know Ms. Lawrence did touch on it, but I'll go get into it again. It's time. It's almost time to head into today's sessions. You can go make yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of whatever you are having today, as to reiterate Ms. Lawrence again. But the sessions will begin at 1 p.m. And the first one we'll be doing is the Courageous Conversations feedback, and that's with Professor Levak. That is really an incredible moment that we will be having, and we do urge that you guys get involved in terms of just communicating and interacting. I know there is a section where you can also pose a few questions within the moderation space. And just to give you some background on that, in 2017, the academic professor Vivian Levak embarked on a nationwide Courageous Conversations roadshow, and it sought to explore the intellectual identity of UWC amongst UWC alumni communities. This year, we aim to provide feedback on the research, and we look at the impact UWC continues to have on the community engagement and its impact on society. So we want you guys really to get involved. And we want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your point of view and how you can add to that conversation. Then at 3 p.m. we head into the UWC Theology Anthology launch, and that will be happening on the YouTube Live platform. And the anthology celebrates the life and the home of theology at UWC, also a massive part of our culture through the documentation of Toki's stories. Stories in this anthology touch on alumnus' hopes and dreams to help build a better South Africa through their work in our very own communities. Then session 3 takes place at 5 p.m. and this will be happening on a Zoom webinar. That is University Sport, the Heritage of South Africa, Investing in Transformation. Sport is such a massive part of communication. It's a massive part, it's a massive medium just to communicate and educate and grow. And me personally, I grew up playing sport before entertainment, and I must say, and I always say, that the lessons I learned in sport are the lessons I've taken with me into music, into entertainment, just the forms of discipline, understanding how to work in a team, the forms of so many other different ways for us to engage with each other. So I do want you guys to remain focused today, to remain engaging and just to enjoy it. I think, especially with UWC Sport, as we close a bit later on today, it has been central to the country's transformation agenda. So join the conversation to unearth what the essential investment components to ensure university sport effectively implements an inclusive transformation journey. So it's an important conversation, one that needs to be had, and I think a conversation we want you guys to also engage in. So that brings me to the end of my role for today. I sincerely hope that you guys enjoyed today's interactions, the ones that have happened thus far and the ones that are yet to come. I'll be with you guys tomorrow one more time, same place. I'm Chad Simon, your program director for the weekend's proceedings. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Professor Pretorius. Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. And we look forward to seeing everybody during the course of the day and the weekend. Thank you, everybody.